Hello everyone, I hope you are doing well today. Welcome back to Pacific Front channel. As we all know, one of the important elements in national defense is the soldier. They are the ones who hold the guns and operate the defense equipment to protect and defend their beloved country. However, besides relying on the enlisted soldiers as their main forces, some countries also have reserve soldiers made of volunteers or mandatory military service. And recently, Indonesia is also establishing its reserve forces. We call it Komponen Cadangan or Komcat for short, or in English, Reserve Component. What is it, how is it function, and what do you have to prepare if you want to join? Let's find out in today's video. According to Law Number 23 of 2019 about the management of national resources for national defense, reserve component or Komcat are national resources that have been prepared to be deployed through mobilization in order to enlarge and strengthen the main component, the Indonesian Armed Forces. The Komcat itself is divided into 4 categories, including human resources, which are the main focus of today's video, natural resources, artificial resources, also facilities and infrastructure. These resources are prepared to be used when the country is in a state of military emergency or natural disaster. The deployment of Komcat is used according to strategy of the Armed Forces Commander after the President declares mobilization and is approved by the Congress. If the military threat that endangers the sovereignty of Indonesia has been overcome, the President can declare demobilization also with the approval of Congress. For the record, Komcat is not a mandatory military service. It's a voluntary program meant to facilitate those who want to serve, but for one reason or another can or don't want to join the armed forces full-time. And they don't have to serve in the military for some period of time either. After the Komcat personnel finish their training, they return as civilians. At the time of recording, 3,103 Komcat personnel have graduated from the target of 25,000 personnel for the Army, Navy, and Air Force. When we talk about Komcat, we have to look back to the time of the Indonesian struggle for independence, when people of all ages and genders and without military training sacrificed themselves to fight against colonization during the War of Independence. It was this spirit that ultimately became the Indonesian Defense Doctrine. We call it Sistem Pertahanan dan Keamanan Rakyat Semesta, or Sishankamrata for short. Basically, it's a doctrine that utilizes all national strength and resources, in this case the armed forces and the police as the main components, and the citizens as the support component in order to defend the country. It means that if we are under attack, every citizen, regardless of their age, gender, and background, must help to defend our sovereignty. And from what I see, that's what the government is trying to achieve with Komcat. If you are interested in joining Komcat, here's the requirement. First, you have to believe in God, loyal to the Republic of Indonesia according to the Indonesian Constitution of 1945. You have to be between 18 and 35 years old, physically and mentally healthy, and don't have a criminal record. After that, you have to prepare your ID, family paper, photos, and several other documents to register. You can register via their official website, Komcat apps, or WhatsApp. But it doesn't mean you are directly selected. Each candidate will be reviewed strictly by the armed forces before they are accepted or not. After you have been selected, you will get 3 months of 600 hours of basic training in the education and training institution of the Army, Navy, or the Air Force. During this period, you will learn about the basic military discipline, military law, leadership theory, military technique like the knowledge of pistols and rifles, firing techniques, and basic combat training, also military tactics in a squad and to conduct a patrol, pioneer training, and more. I assume the training menus are not much different from the regular recruits, but maybe just less intense. At the end of training, you will graduate to become Komcat personnel and then can return to your civilian life again. Every year, you will get refresher training for 12 up to 90 days until you reach the age of 48, the last year of service for Komcat personnel. Are there any benefits in joining Komcat? Of course. When you take the training, you will get pocket money, operation allowance, healthcare, work safety insurance, and recognition. If you are a salaryman or a student, you cannot be fired or expelled when participating in the basic and the refresher training. If your boss or your head of educational institution fires or expels you during your time of training, they can be imprisoned for up to 4 years. However, military law applies when you undergo training or when you mobilize, and you must participate in refresher training and answer the mobilization call. If you don't come without a valid reason, you can be imprisoned for up to 4 years. Still interested? I put the link for the registration in the video description below. When this program was planned several years ago, there was a debate in the public about whether or not COMCHAT was needed, which is understandable, considering that the standard equipment for soldiers in each military service is not evenly distributed yet, and the condition of our equipment is bad. These are issues that we must solve immediately. But we also have to remember that our Constitution clearly states that national defense is the duty of all citizens, whether you are in the military or not. And COMCHAT is one of the facilities provided by the state if we want to serve but are unable or don't want to become soldiers. The registration is voluntary too, so personally, I don't mind if we have this program. From what I see, the benefit of COMCHAT will be worth it for the long term. Recruiting 3,000 soldiers into the army requires a lot of money and resources for their salaries, accommodation, training, everything. And the state, through the Ministry of Defense, must allocate a sum of the annual budget not only just to pay the salary of the new recruits, but also make sure that they can prosper. While the 3,000 COMCHAT personnel that we currently have are not the responsibility of the state when they're not mobilized, we can save a lot of money and resources during peacetime using this method, while at the same time have 3,000 more personnel ready to be called upon for mobilization. Looking at the current situation in Ukraine, having a program to train our citizens with basic military training and maintaining reserve components is not a bad thing in my opinion. What we prepare today can prevent similar tragedies from happening to us in the future. And I remind you once again, we are alone. There you have it, Indonesia's reserve components or COMCHAT. Are you interested in joining COMCHAT one day? Let me know in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy it. If you find this video interesting, please hit the like button, subscribe for more, and I will see you next time.